What's happening, everybody? I am so excited for our next guest. So this is Steve Olson. Steve is an incredible individual. As you're about to find out, if you haven't heard about him, he's been out there knocking it out of the park, winning all these awards all over the place for having an incredible collision center. And so, Steve, welcome to the show, my friend. This is great to have you.
Thank you, Ryan. It's awesome to be here. I got into this business 22 years ago, washing cars. Didn't want to end there. So just learned estimating and production management, became an owner 7 years ago. And the journey has been incredible. A couple different places, building up shops that were not successful, were not profitable, and turning them into good shops that have now won some awards. So it's been a fun journey.
Man, I got to say, it's an incredible thing. I appreciate your humility, but what I really want for our viewers who are watching this, and I think you nailed it, is like, how do you take a shop that is maybe breaking even or barely profitable? And how have you taken the steps to create incredible businesses that you have? So give us a little insight, a couple little secrets that these guys can take away.
Just got a chance to speak at the Lexus conference last week. And one of the things I talked about, my main focus was people. Truly believe that people are the most important part of what our business is every single day. And I think that happy employees make happy customers. And people can tell when the people working there don't want to be there. We've been in those situations in retail. You can tell when people don't want to be there. You can tell when it's just a job for them versus a career and something that they're proud of. So I think let your people know that they need both skill and will to be here. They need to have both. One or the other doesn't work. You have to have both. You have to have the desire to be here and you have to have the skill set to be here. And then it becomes our responsibility as a leader, as a boss, as a manager, as an owner, to lead those people and to give them a good workplace, a place where they can succeed, a place where they can accomplish the things that are important to them, and understanding your people that not everybody's driven by the same thing. For some people, they're driven by the financial side. For some people, they want to feel a certain level of satisfaction for working on type of car. So everybody's different in that regard, but finding out what your people want, taking care of your people, and realizing that you will be successful if you help your team do that, not the other way around. And I think that's the key, that as you help those people become successful, be happy, and enjoy coming to work every day, then it just takes care of itself. You play the long-term game. I think that's huge. Do not make short-term decisions. Realize that I'm buying this equipment for the long term. I need this to make my business more successful. And as you do that and give your team the tools and the equipment and the facilities and the certifications to do that, you can be set up for long-term success. And that's the goal for me. Is somebody still wants to do this for 20 or 25 more years, I want to be in this for the long term.
Yeah, I love it. And I think we almost become, as leaders, we start to become people engineers, is what term that I heard the other day. It's that we're figuring out how to work with people, their different desires. The people thing is one of the biggest challenges, if not the biggest, and will continue to be so as we watch the baby boomers and different people exiting the industry. What are you doing to attract more people? That's a common question we get out there. Obviously, you've built an incredible business. It's built around incredible people. How do you find these people?
I think it's being sincere. I think it's caring about your people. One thing I think, and I talked about it in the conference, was not everybody in the ER is a surgeon. The surgeon doesn't shave your leg. The surgeon doesn't go over and ask you if you stopped eating at midnight and all those other things. The surgeon comes in and does the really technical hard part that he's instructed to do. He's got a team around him that doesn't have to be as skilled, can be learning the process, that does some of the other work. So think about that from the standpoint of a technician. Not everybody in the building needs to be able to put a rail and a rear body and a quarter panel on a car. You can have guys that can disassemble it and set that up for that A technician to do that, because in every industry right now, in America and in Canada and across the world, there is a lack of people that want to work right now. And we need to have people in order to survive. And so realizing what their skill set is and putting that into play, whether that's making them a technician team, whether that's having them work together in some capacity, but it's hard to get talent right now. And so you have to take what you can and train your own technicians, give them a chance, a path for success. Again, I was washing cars 22 years ago and have a chance to be an owner 15 years later. So all that's super important, and all that affects your ability to train people and have them be successful.
I'd love to know your perspective on this. Having the people that are happy, they're loving what they're doing at your facility, does that naturally start to build like interest from other people out there in the industry that I want to be part of Steve's team? I want to come work in that shop. How does that piece of it, working with your people and investing the time in the people, how does that pay dividends long term?
I think it helps. I think people inherently want to win at something they do. I think it would be exhausting to go to work and not care how my team is doing, how the business I'm part of is doing. The reason we keep score at sporting events is because we want to know who won. So I think it's important that people feel like they're on a winning team. And absolutely, you get a chance to be successful, whether you're Alabama football or you're the Yankees or whoever you are. You win repetitively. People say, you know what? I want to be on that team. I want to win something. And so as our guys have done that and won a couple of national awards, that starts to build, hey, man, we're part of something that's really special across the country. And we want to continue to do that year after year. And I think it attracts other people who want to be part of that as well.
It's incredible. I think you're doing amazing things there. If you had some advice for the shop, some things that they could take away from this that they could put into play, what would be your key things to look out for on the horizon as things continue to evolve in our industry?
A lot of experts across the country, Mike Anderson, and those guys will tell you that claim count was already going down some prior to COVID, right? So already the technology in these cars is causing less accidents, right? Some of these cars are smarter, avoid the accident that used to happen on older vehicles. And so claim count is down. So as employees is down and claim count is down, it becomes more and more important for the shop to maximize every repair order. And that was really our focus is, hey, if we're going to see less cars, that's fine. But let's make sure we're getting paid for everything that we should be getting paid for on that car. Let's make sure our gross profit percentage goes up on every car by educating our estimators, making sure they have the training and everything to ask for all the not included operations. And that's been a big difference for us, especially this year. Last year in 2021 was the best year in our company history, and we're beating it this year by 60%. So it's been massive from that standpoint of just focusing on what's most important. And I know we all have certain goals, or we want to hit this number, hit that number. Hey, at the end of the day, to the owner, to your boss, whoever, whatever role you're in, the number they care about the most is that, right? If you're taking care of customers, if you're taking care of your people, and you're performing safe and quality repairs, net's the only number that matters.
Love that you guys have a repair order because there's a lot of meat left on the bone there in a lot of cases. One of the things that's always stood out for me with your organization is an incredible customer experience. How do you manage customers' expectations? How do you deliver an incredible customer experience? It would be my last question for you.
Sure. I think the biggest thing is keeping the customer informed. The trick question in this is, how often should you update the customer? And the answer is as much as they want to be, right? So if you're the kind of guy, Ryan, that says, hey, just call me when it's done, man. I got 12 cars. I don't need this thing. Call me when it's done, right? Then literally I can call you when it's done. If you're the one that's named your car and wants to send it a get well soon card, which I've seen in this industry, then I need to probably be calling you every 2 or 3 days and telling you what's going on. And if the update is such and such insurance company has not approved it yet, at least I'm keeping you in the loop and letting you know, hey, it's not on the shop. We're waiting on approval. We're waiting on this, waiting on that. But at least you're in the know. I've heard this analogy and I love it. If you're on a plane, which you are about 300 times a year, and you're getting a little shaky in the sky, the one thing you want to hear from is the pilot so that he knows what's going on, right? When you don't hear anything, you get a little nervous. Hey, I'm not sure what's going on. Does the pilot expect this? The second he gets on, hey, it's going to be a little bit bumpy. And even if it's not great news, at least you know the guy who's in charge of it knows what's happening. So again, keep them informed. Make sure they understand what your role is in the process, and I think it'll be fine.
I love it, man. I got to say, thank you so much for taking your time to jump in with us, share a few of your insights. I know you're crushing it. You continue to do, you're relentless about winning. And I love that about you, brother. So thanks for taking the time and jumping on this. We'll wrap it up here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at one of these events, getting another trophy in the near future.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Talk to you after. Thanks, man.